Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here. Alright, and I figured that I would do another retro wrestling review. And so I decided to review Taboo Tuesday 2004. So, I guess this was like a decent pay-per-view. I mean, was it good? Probably not. I mean, gosh, this is a decent pay-per-view, but it's really like not necessarily good. I mean, because yeah, this show was just like really just all over the place. Really, I mean, some stuff is good, and there's also some crap on the show. So yeah, the show really is just like a really mixed bag, because it's just like a whole mishmash of good and bad throughout the entire show. Now, of course, like I know that some people probably did like these types of pay-per-view, like Taboo Tuesday and Cyber Sunday, because yeah, these were, as just about everyone remembers, like fan interactive pay-per-views where the fans would get to like vote on like stipulations and opponents for and yeah, just like stipulations and stuff for the matches. So yeah, I guess like these are like some things like why people really do like these pay-per-views, because of like that interactivity stuff. And so yeah, those are really what these types of events were known for. But yeah, the in this event, like I said, it was just a whole mishmash of good and bad, because yeah, it's just scattered all throughout the show. But yeah, the show still overall is decent. Like there is like some crap on here, but yeah, the good stuff really does like it doesn't really really hurt it very much, because yeah, it's just like yeah, it's just like sort of a success, because yeah, it's decent, just not really just really great. But yeah, I guess like it could have been worse. Like there definitely have been like worse pay-per-views than this. So yeah, this show really wasn't like a total fail, just really not all that hot. So yeah, okay. So yeah, let me just talk about the card. So yeah, like I said before, like this was like the fan interactive pay-per-view where the fans get to vote on like matches and stipulations and opponents and stuff. So yeah, the first match of the night was for the Intercontinental Championship, Chris Jericho defending against an opponent, and for this match, the fans actually got to vote for who Chris Jericho would be defending the title against. And so, yeah, the choices just like were pretty much just about everyone really on the Raw roster that really didn't have a match that night. There was like Batista, Shelton Benjamin, Christian, and yeah, just about like every other person on the Raw roster that didn't have a match that night, including like Coach was also an option too. Yeah, if you want to know like everybody that was like with involved in like the voting for this match, like all the choices, I'll put a link in the description of a video that shows like all of the eligible people to vote for this match. Yeah, but yeah, and the fans end up voting in Shelton Benjamin. And yeah, I'll put, well, yeah, for every match on this card, like you'll see down there, I will have like all my ratings and stuff in the description. Yeah, I'll also like put in the voting results for each match and what the fans voted for, what the results were. So yeah, those will be down in the description also for each match. Yeah. So yeah, Shelton Benjamin ended up being voted into this match, and yeah, this match was like a really pretty good match right here. I mean, yeah, Shelton Benjamin really was like being really built up big throughout like 2004. He was really built up huge as like a star, or especially as a single star. Yeah, yeah, and it was a really good like back and forth match. I mean, yeah, you just had like both, yeah, just back and forth offense between both Chris Jericho and Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin was like being his typical like technical acrobatic like wrestling self. Yeah, and yeah, Chris Jericho also like had like brought in his stuff also. Chris Jericho like performed like the Inzaguri and stuff, and yeah, Shelton Benjamin like at one point like flew like over the ropes to the outside of the ring onto Chris Jericho. Yeah. Oh yeah, and yeah, it just was like a real back and forth match. There were like a few points in the match where Shelton Benjamin did like his high flying antics, and yeah, Chris Jericho also like tried a bulldog and a lion salt, but Shelton Benjamin ended up countering it. and stuff, yeah. And it just really was like a really good back and forth match. And then, yeah, in the end, like I think like Chris Jericho like tried to perform some kind of move on Shelton Benjamin, but Shelton Benjamin ended up like countering it, and then Shelton Benjamin hit a T-bone suplex on Chris Jericho and got the pin, and Shelton Benjamin became the Intercontinental Champion. And this of course would lead to like one of like the best title reigns of all, like especially like since 1998 with Shelton Benjamin's reign here. I mean, Shelton Benjamin just had a really great run with the Intercontinental Championship here. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just like with Randy Orton just a few months before. I mean, yeah, Shelton Benjamin's reign here just really did help to bring some prestige back to the Intercontinental title with his reign. So yeah, that's of course like something this match is really known for. And yeah, it was like a pretty good match overall. I would give it probably a 3.5 stars. I mean, yeah, it definitely was a really good match and a really good way to start off the show. Yeah. And then and after this, then there was like the voting results for like who would challenge Triple H on this night for the World Heavyweight Championship. Yeah, the three choices were Edge, Chris Benoit, and Shawn Michaels. And of course, like the previous night before this on Raw was when Shawn Michaels suffered like his knee injury with the torn meniscus, which I've talked about before. And so yeah, Edge really was like really obsessed with really just winning the World Heavyweight Championship at this time. And yeah, this was like when like there were like it was like teased for weeks about Edge turning heel and just show like he was like really like becoming really frustrated and everything with like wanting to become the World Heavyweight Champion and stuff. So and the fans ended up like voting for Shawn Michaels to challenge Triple H for the World Heavyweight title in this night. Right, and then like as a result of like Edge and Chris Benoit not being voted into challenge Triple H, then the two of them would later on in the show challenge La Resistance for the World Tag Team Championship. So yeah, I'll get to that later. But yeah, Edge really was just like not happy that he didn't get voted in, and he just really did feel that Shawn Michaels really like should have just removed himself from the match because of his knee injury. And yeah, Edge was just like so livid that Shawn Michaels got voted in, and he just was not happy at all. And Edge just ended up like storming off later, and it just like showed throughout the night how frustrated he really was about it. So yeah, I'll get to more of that later. But anyway, and so yeah, the next actual match on the show was the Fulfill Your Destiny Battle Royal for the Women's Championship. Yeah, it was just basically like the Battle Royal with like pretty much every diva on the Raw roster at the time. It was Trish Stratus was the champion defending in this Battle Royal, and this Battle Royal like had Jazz, Nydia, Gail Kim, Molly Holly, Victoria, and Stacy Keibler in it. And yeah, this wasn't good. This was just crap. Oh, and yeah, the three choices for this match, like in this match, the fans actually got to vote for like this was a fulfill your fantasy. The fans actually got to vote for like what the divas would like be dressed up as in this match. Yeah, the three choices were uh, nurses' outfits, French maids, or schoolgirls, and the fans ended up like voting for the schoolgirls. The schoolgirls won the vote with 53%. And yeah, like I said, this wasn't good. I mean, this was just like total crap. This was just like yeah, it was like really sloppy and slow and stuff. And yeah, the Divas Battle Royals really are not ever very good. And yeah, it was really just like really sloppy. I mean, there was really just like too few divas in here for really like an actual battle royal feel to it. I just really don't like it when there's like so few people in battle royals. It just really doesn't feel very much like a battle royal. But yeah, this just really wasn't good. Really sloppy stuff, and eliminations really just were sloppy and stuff. Yeah, basically just yeah, Trish Stratus ended up winning this match and retaining her title. So yeah, this just really was crap. I mean, yeah, this just really was really dumb and stuff. Like these types of segments really just, yeah, they really just don't even do very well, and yeah, they really don't age well in today's day and age. So yeah, this was just crap. So yeah, I would give this like half a star. Just really wasn't good. Yeah. And then next up was the weapon of choice match between Snitsky and Kane. And yeah, well, obviously, like by weapon of choice match, in this match, the fans got to vote for the type of weapon that would be used in this match. And the three choices were a lead pipe, a steel chair, and a chain. And the fans voted for the chain with 40% of the votes. And yeah, this was all right, I guess. I mean, yeah, this was probably the best thing that actually did come out of this Kane Snitsky feud. Yeah, this feud just absolutely sucked. I mean, Lundrick has said this is quite possibly Kane's worst feud of all time, and I probably agree with that. This feud is just absolutely terrible. It just like tied into like Lita's pregnancy and stuff, and like Snitsky was responsible for like Lita losing her baby and stuff, and he was just like saying it wasn't his fault and stuff, and so yeah, this feud was just absolutely horrible. But yeah, this match it was all right, I guess. I mean, not terrible or anything. I mean, yeah, of course, but though this did actually, I felt this did kind of go on a little too long. I mean, this went on for like a 15 minutes, and it just kind of like dragged on really. I mean, it really wasn't like, yeah, this just really didn't need to be this long at all. But yeah, it was a decent match, I guess. And yeah, there was like a lot of weapon use of the chain here from both Kane and Snitsky. Yeah, yeah, in this match, like Snitsky was like trying to target Kane's throat in this match. He was like choking out Kane with the chair. I mean, with the chair with the chain. Yeah, and yeah, and of course, like Lita was out at ringside with Kane, and there was a time when like Lita actually ended up like unarming Snitsky with the chain or something. So, but yeah, then like yeah, yeah, this was just kind of like back and forth stuff. I mean, it wasn't like completely well paced. Like there were some like slow parts to this, but yeah, this still was like an all right match. And it was like it was just like continued to go back and forth, and then yeah, Snitsky then just like ended up grabbing a chair and then was just like nailing Kane in the throat with the chair here several times, and then yeah, Kane then like had the chair wrapped around his neck at one point, and then Snitsky he then just came off the second rope, and then just jumped on the chair, and then yeah, Kane just that ended up like crushing Kane's throat, and Kane was just like there was just blood just oozing right out of Kane's mouth, and so yeah, it was pretty brutal stuff. And then then Snitsky then just ended up pinning Kane and got the win. So yeah, this was just like real like graphic and brutal stuff, really. Yeah, and yeah. After this, like Kane then like ended up like missing a few months due to this injury. And then yeah, Snitsky then ended up like kind of getting a push after this. Like he of course like was on that Survivor Series team with Edge, Triple H, and Batista and stuff. So he actually did main event Survivor Series that year, like I talked about before. So yeah, they were just like trying to really give Snitsky a push, but yeah, Snitsky really just wasn't good, and he just like really sucked and wasn't good at all. So yeah, that sucked that we had to go through that with Snitsky. But yeah, then like when Kane returned, this feud would continue, and it would just be absolutely terrible again. So, but yeah, this still was like an alright match, I guess. And yeah, as Kane was like being like stretchered out of the arena, Snitsky then came back and just knocked Kane off of the stretcher and continued to beat him down. So, yeah. Yeah, but this was still like, it was an alright match, I guess. I would give this probably 2 stars. Not good, but not terrible either. Like, I think it was better than it was expected to be, so, yeah. And then next up was Eric Bischoff versus Eugene. And for this match, the fans like got to vote for what would happen to the loser of the match. The three choices were be the servant to the winner, wear a dress for a month, and shave the head bald. But yeah, we didn't actually like find out the results for the voting until after the match. And yeah, this thing was just like this was dumb. This was just like completely useless and stuff. This was just like useless and pointless. I mean, it was only like 2 minutes. If you want a long story short, yeah, I can pretty much just sum up this match with like Eric Bischoff beat up Eugene for the first minute. Then Eugene made a comeback and beat up Eric Bischoff in the second minute. And then, yeah, Eugene got the win. Yeah, and then, yeah, then it, like, the result for the voting was then revealed, and of course, like, the fans ended up, like, voting for shave the head bald. Yeah, and then, yeah, Coach and Eric Bischoff were just, like, Coach was trying to help Eric Bischoff, like, get out of it and stuff, and just trying to, like, make it seem like the fans voted for another stipulation instead. But then, yeah, Vince McMahon then came out and then, yeah, forced Eric Bischoff to then get his head shaved bald or else he'd be fired. So then, yeah, Eric Bischoff then ended up getting his head shaved, and Vince also made a Coach put on a dress for trying to, like, help Eric Bischoff get out of it. So, yeah, this match just was absolutely useless, and it just, like, took up too much time because, yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah, the stuff with, like, after the match with, like, them trying to get out of the head shave and Vince coming out and making Eric Bischoff do it, and even Eric Bischoff getting his head shaved, that went on for, like, almost 10 minutes, I think. So, yeah, that just took up way too much time and was way too long. And plus, yeah, of course, like, Eric Bischoff, of course, didn't actually get shaved bald. He just, like, then had, like, the different hairstyle with, like, his short hair and gray. So, yeah, it wasn't even bald. So, yeah, the stipulation didn't even hold up. So, yeah, a really just totally waste of time, really, with this match. I give this a dud. This was just absolutely useless. And then after this, then we then got the World Tag Team Championship match with La Resistance defending against Chris Benoit and Edge. And this was good, I guess. I mean, definitely not one of the greatest tag team matches of all time. Definitely not on par with any of the greatest tag team matches at all, but it was still a good match overall. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a good back and forth tag match. I mean, both teams, like, got in good amounts of offense. I mean, yeah, it was, like, good back and forth. It wasn't like one team had the upper hand for the majority of this match or anything. Like, it was actually did go back and forth. And stuff. And then at one point, as La Resistance were actually getting the upper hand on Chris Benoit, who was legal in the match. Like, Chris Benoit tried to make a tag to Edge, but then, like, as I think it was Rob Conway, then, like, got in illegally, and just then, like, the referee had his back turned trying to get Rob Conway out, and Benoit actually did make the tag to Edge, but then yeah, the referee didn't see the tag, so yeah, Edge, like, wasn't, like, legal in the match, even though the tag was made. And then, yeah, that's when just Edge completely snapped, because, yeah, he was still really just pissed off about not being voted in to the World Heavyweight Championship match. And so then that's when Edge just then, like, officially then turned heel, and then he just, like, completely fled from the match and just, yeah, actually then fled the building. Yeah, Edge just walked back, grabbed his bag, and then just got in his car and drove off. So, yeah, Edge ended up, like, just fleeing from the match, and then Benoit then just, like, finished this match on his own. Oh, and then, yeah, Benoit then, like, as La Resistance were, like, double teaming on Chris Benoit, Benoit then ended up fighting back, and he fought La Resistance off, and yeah, Chris Benoit then had the crossface in on Rob Conway, and then Rob Conway tapped out, and so then Chris Benoit ended up winning the World Tag Team titles for both him and Edge. So, yeah, pretty good thing with Benoit actually, like, winning the match on his own, like that, with Edge leaving, and so, yeah, it was a good match overall. I mean, not really, like, he's, like, contender for the greatest tag matches of all time or anything, but it was still overall good. I would give it probably a 3 stars. And then next up had Christy Hemme versus Carmella. And for this, the fans got to vote for what type of match that these two would have, and the 3 choices were, like, an evening gown match, an aerobics challenge, or a lingerie pillow fight. And yeah, the fans ended up, like, choosing the lingerie pillow fight with, like, 56%. And this was just like Eugene versus Eric Bischoff. This just took up way too much time. I mean, the match itself, like, didn't even last long at all. The match itself is only, like, once again, about 2 minutes. So they waste all this time, like, getting ready for it. Like, Christy and Carmella, like, went behind, like, 2 see-through cubicles to change into their lingeries and stuff, and that just took, like, forever to do. Yeah. And, yeah, it's just, like, really just took up way too much time, and it was once the match finally actually did start, it was just them like just hitting each other with pillows, and feathers went everywhere. And yeah, the ending really was like botched too, where like Christy then like got like pinned Carmella, but one of Carmella's shoulders was still up, but the referee still counted to 3, so Christy Hemme got the win. So yeah, just a real sloppy stuff, really, and just like Eugene or Bischoff took up way too much time. I give it like no, I don't even give it anything. Once again, I'm gonna give this a dud. This was just like a total waste of time, and it was just dumb. So yeah, really, that sucked. And then next up, we had the World Heavyweight Championship match with Triple H defending against Shawn Michaels. And yeah, like I said earlier, like Shawn Michaels did wrestle this match with his knee injury with the torn meniscus. So yeah, it's really impressive that this match even did take place at all, just while considering that. And yeah, this match, surprisingly, with Shawn Michaels' injury, this still was actually a good match. I mean, yeah, definitely not a great match or anything, and yeah, definitely like these guys definitely had a lot better matches, but yeah, it was but we all know why this match really didn't turn out as great as the other matches because of that injury Shawn Michaels had. Yeah, for most of this match, like Shawn Michaels was like had to stay near the ropes so he could like stand up, right? And yeah, and Triple H was like targeting Shawn Michaels' knee in the match. He was like really just like doing a bunch of stuff to his knee. Yeah, and I got the feeling that Shawn Michaels' knee was probably like really like band really just like really was like really protected underneath the tights. He probably had like a bunch of stuff like as padding, and so his knee really wouldn't get more damage than it was. And yeah, and at one point, like Triple H then like had the figure 4 in on Shawn Michaels, and you could just see like the anguish on Shawn Michaels' face as he was in the figure 4, and the referee was like just like was really like thinking of really just calling the match and stopping it, but yeah, Shawn Michaels just told the referee not to do it, and then yeah, eventually like Shawn Michaels ended up getting to the ropes and getting out of it, and then yeah, Shawn Michaels then was just like trying to do whatever he could in this match. And and yeah, and then yeah, at one point then Shawn Michaels then tried to go for the sweet chin music on Triple H, and then yeah, Batista then like was running out, but then Shawn Michaels then just took him out. And as the referee like had his back turned like busy with Batista, then like Edge came back through the crowd and then just speared Shawn Michaels once again just out of his anger of Shawn Michaels being voted in instead of him. And yeah, and then Edge just went right back through the crowd and he was just constantly screaming, "It should have been me." And then that allowed Triple H to then just crawl into the cover and get the pin on Shawn Michaels. So yeah, Triple H ended up retaining. So, and yeah, like I said, I mean, definitely like not one of their greater matches, but it was because of Shawn Michaels' injury, and yeah, it was still like pretty impressive. This match was still overall good. So yeah, pretty impressive stuff right there with Shawn Michaels like actually still like competing, and this being a good match. So yeah, this match was probably considering Shawn Michaels' injury, this was probably just as good as it could have gotten. So yeah, I would give this match probably 3 and a quarter. And then we got the main event, Randy Orton versus Ric Flair. And once again, for this match, the fans got to choose what kind of match this would be. And the 3 choices were a false count anywhere match, a submission match, and a steel cage match. And the fans ended up like choosing the steel cage match by a landslide. So yeah, I really was like questioning why they really had this be the main event, but yeah, it was probably just because like WWE was still like really trying to uh, make Randy Orton like a top star and a top face, but yeah, it really just wasn't working anymore because of what happened with him at Unforgiven, with him just being buried by Triple H, and really just like after that, his whole momentum was just ruined. So yeah, but they were still like trying to build him up, even though like it really wasn't working anymore. Here, yeah, and I guess that's probably why like his face turn really didn't last very much longer. And like going into WrestleMania 21, they had him turn heel again. So yeah, And yeah, I guess this was a good match. I mean, once again, not great or anything, and it really wasn't that long either. It was only about 10 minutes, but yeah, I guess it was good. I mean, yeah, you had some good back and forth action here. I mean, yeah, Randy Orton got busted open like pretty early on in the match and stuff, and then eventually like Ric Flair then got busted open and stuff, and yeah, there were like a bunch of attempts to try to escape the cage in this match. Yeah, yeah, and not really anything like too memorable happened in this match. It was just kind of like back and forth action here. At one point, like Ric Flair hit Randy Orton with brass knuckles, well, it's not knocking him out, and then Ric Flair tried to escape through the door of the cage, but then like Randy Orton stopped him, and then Ric Flair then like grabbed a steel chair that was outside of the ring, and brought that into the cage, and he tried to hit Randy Orton with it, and yeah, the ending really was kind of abrupt with Ric Flair like trying to hit Randy Orton with that chair, but Randy Orton ducked, and then Randy Orton hit an RKO on Ric Flair and got the pin, so Randy Orton won. So yeah, a really abrupt ending right there, just like it came out of nowhere. I was just like, how did that happen? Just like it really just came out of nowhere, really, and it really just like wasn't like Randy Orton like really like getting an advantage or anything. It was just like out of nowhere an RKO and then just a pin like that. So yeah, and then afterwards, like Ric Flair and Randy Orton ended up like embracing and stuff, but I really question why they did that because they really like didn't change anything between them. Because yeah, Randy Orton's feud with Evolution just really basically continued on after this. So yeah, like, I did kind of question why they really had them embrace like that after the match, but yeah, it was still like an overall a good match. I guess I would give it probably a 3 1/4 once again. So, yeah, overall the show, I give it like a 6 out of 10. I mean, yeah, it wasn't a horrible show. I mean, you had some good stuff on here with like Jericho and Benjamin, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Orton and Ric Flair, and even like Kane and Snitsky. It really wasn't as bad as a lot of people were probably expecting it to be. Yeah, but it still did have like some crap on here, like the Divas Battle Royal, Eugene, Eric Bischoff, and Christy and Carmella. So yeah, the show was it's just really all over the place with the show. It's a whole mishmash of good and bad. So yeah, it just really is just like a decent show. But if it was, it could have been a lot better. I mean, yeah, just with like Eugene and Eric Bischoff and Christian Carmel just taking up so much time, it really did kind of like ruin, like really mess up the pacing of the show really. So yeah, I just really don't know. Like I really do like if you're curious enough, watch it. But personally, yeah, this really isn't a must see show at all. So yeah. Alright, so yeah, that does for my review of Taboo Tuesday 2004. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.